head, I hear music in the air. Up above my head, I hear music in the air. Up above my head, I hear music in the air. I really do believe there's heaven somewhere. Up above my head, I hear singing in the air. Up above my head, I hear singing in the air. Up above my head, I hear singing in the air. I really do believe there's heaven right here. All right, little girl. Music in the air, up above my head, hear music in the air. Up above my head, I hear music in the air. I really do believe there's heaven right here. I really do believe there is heaven right here.
Wow. Yeah. My husband leaned over and said, "We got to come here more often." That was fabulous. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And if there's anyone new here, welcome to Unity in the Valley. If you are new here, I am just filling in today. Reverend Donna Johnson is out of town visiting friends and family, and I was thrilled that she asked me to come. My name is Clare Austen. My husband, sitting right up here, is Rick Hutchins. And we are truly really happy to be with you. We both retired a few years ago, and we started traveling around in our travel trailer. And we came down here a number of times to see a cousin of mine. And we just kept liking it more and more, and we just kept coming back a little and staying a little longer. And we moved down here 2.5, 3 years ago now. We bought a place, but then we had to go back, and then we actually moved down. I was 20 when I found Unity. I was in the Vancouver, Washington area, and Portland, Oregon was the closest Unity church, so it was a bit of a drive. And my mother came with me, and it's just been in my heart ever since. I was 35 when I finally went to ministerial school and was ordained in 1988. And I served 3 churches in the 25 years that I was in ministry. 2 of those are in Missouri, not too far from Unity Village. And then I went back to Washington State, but this time on the east side of the state, which is we're a large church called Spokane, a large city called Spokane, Washington. If you're an NCAA basketball fan, it's the home to the Zags, or Gonzaga University. And not only is that a wonderful thing, but I met my husband there in Spokane. And like I already said, we lived there for a number of years and then recently moved down here. Let's prepare to be very present to ourselves and to what is about to happen here today. Be present to everyone around. Take a couple of deep breaths. Make sure your body is fully here, and your heart is fully in this room. Spirit of life, you have brought us together here this morning to both give a gift of nurturing and to receive that gift from others who are gathered here. May our hearts and minds be open. May we see and hear whatever is ours to receive. And may we take from this time into our daily lives that which brings us more light, more healing, that which changes us at depth. And so it is. Amen. And looks like we stand now for our congregational song, I Choose Love, by Sue Riley and Karen Taylor Good, two of my favorite music writers, songwriters.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, it can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
And I believe Charlotte is coming up for our opening statement and the announcements. Good morning.
Good morning. The first thing we'll do is the opening statement. All together.
There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent.
And the vision.
A world of spiritually awakened hearts and minds.
And our mission.
We are creating joyful community on a spiritual pathway to peace and love through fellowship, classes, music, and services.
Please be seated. This being Mother's Day, the daily word is motherly love. I give thanks for motherly love. God's love, expressing through my mother, gave me life. God's love, wisdom, and strength guided her and all those who nurtured me as I grew. My words of praise and gratitude let me show my mother how much I appreciate her. When I wish to demonstrate my appreciation for my mother's example, I share the nurturing, motherly love of God in my words, actions, with all people. Remember the times when my mother or another compassionate person listened patiently and shared encouraging words. I seek to be a caring, supportive presence, and recalling my mother's joy each time I learn something new, I share my skills and knowledge willingly when someone seeks my help. In gratitude, I share the gift of nurturing love. And from Isaiah 66:13, as a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. Okay.
And we've had a change in the order of service today, so we're going to have Will play a special Mother's Day song right now before the message.
Mama told me when I was young to sit beside me, my only son. Listen closely to what I say. Yeah. If you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come, troubles will pass. Find a woman, oh, and you'll find love. Don't forget some, there is some up above. Simple kind of man, be something you love and understand. Be a simple kind of man, yeah. Won't you do this for me, so if you can? Get your lust for the rich man's gold, baby. All you need is in your soul. You can do this little more if you try. All I want from you, my soul, is to be satisfied.
again. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you both for your music. I called and asked if I could move the order of service around just a little bit. Normally the order that you use is exactly what I'm used to, but as this talk kind of came out, I realized that I just really wanted to move that meditation a little later. I started doing something, I don't remember exactly when, but I think it may have been as I came to Spokane. And I want to offer it as an opportunity, something that we can do together here, a ritual. I give everybody a chance to say their mother's name out loud. You don't have to participate. I think it's a way of honoring and bringing that energy back into your own heart and into this collective consciousness. So if you'd like to participate in this, I do this on Father's Day too, for fathers, if you're feeling at all left out, but I won't be here for Father's Day. You'll have to do it on your own. If you'd like to do this, I'm going to ask you to stand right now, just if you want to. And if you're not someone who, it's easy to stand, you can raise your hand as we kind of get started and we can come to you. I encourage you to speak your mom's name clearly and in an honoring way, but I'm aware that some people here might not have known their mom, but maybe you have someone else that you would like to speak their name today. And if you're someone who maybe has some unforgiveness around your mother, I encourage you to think about standing and saying her name, because sometimes I have found for myself and others in my congregation that it might be the opening, the beginning of a forgiveness, of a healing. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to come out here. And then I will have Rick go next, my husband here. And then whenever you say your mother's name, then sit down and we'll know. And it usually goes fairly quick. So, Jessie Marie Tompkins.
Mary Elizabeth Crandall.
And we'll go over here.
Catherine Ann McGaffey.
Lou Ada Oakway.
Leah Frances Lorraine Daly.
Naomi Ruth Harding.
Phyllis Marie Govansky.
Ruth Elaine Garrett.
Tommy Aldadete Martinez.
My beloved mother, recently passed, Elizabeth Kleckner Rochon.
Evelyn Jennings. Florence Honeyman Haight.
Irene Cooper Strauss.
Virginia Amalia Perry Morgan.
And I think right here.
Margaret Priscilla Mitchell.
And
Ann Morris Gambrova. Lita Will Score. Ann Zampetti.
Janet Mary Johnson.
Earl Gladys Kramer.
and then we'll start on this.
Nosley Gilkis.
Thank you.
Evelyn James. Hazel Francine Hall.
Anne Marie DeGrasse.
Grace Nelson.
Down over here. Either one.
Florence Ellis Kim.
Ruth Maxine Ford.
And our two at the back.
Annabelle Rayover Widmer. Sophie Stavropoulos Schultz, and my grandmother who helped raise me, Justina Stavropoulos.
Thank you. Did either of you want to say? Yeah, go ahead.
Beth Ann Fauber.
Susan Reinmiller.
Thank you. Thank you for participating. I feel the energy in the room is different after we've had that experience together. I truly believe that nurturing is one of the most important human basic needs. You know, when we think of basic needs, we often think of food and water, or maybe even comfort or safety. But nurturing or mothering is contributing to someone's emotional well-being. It's paying attention to their feelings, their inner life. It's affirming a person's uniqueness, worthiness, as well as perhaps their dreams and their goals. You know, we human beings have tended to believe for a long time that other living beings that we share this planet with don't have that same capacity, the same type of nurturing that we humans consider that we do, not only for our offspring, but for others. But I'm sure most of you in here, I'm guessing, are pretty well read, and you know that in the last 50 years, a lot of scientific knowledge has come out to say that some animals definitely do nurture, and nurture across species. And some nurture human beings. How many of you got a chance to see the Academy Award-winning documentary called My Octopus Teacher? Oh my gosh, Rick and I saw it last October with our granddaughters, and I've just been telling everybody about it. It's enlightening, it's touching, it's a true story, I guess thus a documentary, of a man from South Africa who goes out to swim every day, and he slowly develops a relationship with a little octopus that lives in the, not the coral reefs, but the kelp reefs there. And they end up having a mutually affectionate and nurturing relationship. The film is still playing. I could watch it over and over again. It's available on Netflix and I believe on maybe a couple channels. But I thought about the story of the octopus just the other day again, which made me want to tell you about it. Because I was listening to the NPR program Fresh Air. Are any of you fans of Fresh Air? Terry Gross was interviewing a woman named Suzanne Simard. Anybody hear that just by knowing her name? She grew up in a logging community in British Columbia, and even as a child, she became really fascinated with what you could tell that the trees in that the huge trees on the coast of British Columbia, that they were communicating in some way. There seemed to be a reciprocity there, and she grew up to become a forestry ecologist, and recently wrote a book called Finding the Mother Tree. And it shares some of the understanding that she and her colleagues have come to. And some of this I've kind of heard before because I read a lot, but some of it really has blown my mind. And I was a huge tree lover when I was a child too. I was either up in a tree or walking among trees all the time. When I was really little, I wanted to give every one of them their own personal name. She says, trees are definitely social creatures. Have you ever thought about that? They're definitely social creatures that communicate, cooperate, and nurture one another. Now I kind of have heard this before, but her description of it is so much clearer. Trees are linked by an underground network of fungi that resemble the neural networks in our human brain. Through these networks, trees send messages to each other. They give warnings. They talk about weather, insects, and other dangers threatening the forest. And I love this last one. The last one I'm going to share with you anyway. Older trees are especially tuned into nurturing the smaller trees that grow in their shadow, that grow underneath them, underneath their branches. And these smaller trees learn from the big trees. And they remember what they have been taught for years and years. And when old trees sense that they are dying, they begin the process of offloading through that fungi network to the smaller trees all of their carbon, nutrients, and water that has been stored in the big tree. They give their lives to strengthen individuals that the community might thrive. just gives me tingles to even read that aloud to you. One of the things that I have found myself doing a lot in this last year, as we've pretty much stayed home, a lot of our activities stopped. Not that we had a lot of friends yet in Tucson by this time, but I began doing a deep dive into what is yet unhealed in me. When you have a lot of time to contemplate, there's only so many directions you can go, and that's the one that I went. I did some work with memories of my mother, and up until, maybe in my 40s, I would have said we had a great relationship, and then I began to see some of the things that I needed from her that I didn't get. Not blame at all. Just looking at how it affected me and what needed to be healed. I looked at what still felt wounded or unhealed and how it impacted not only my relationships over, the last 40 years, but my work and my overall happiness. And sometimes those things are very deep. As many of you know, this kind of work, I'm sure if you've been in Unity long, you've done some of these things. This work isn't easy. And there were times that I didn't want to go into that room and do my meditation. I didn't want to go any deeper. I didn't want to look at anything. And I asked myself, well, what does it matter now? I mean, not that I'm planning to die in the near future, but can't I just kind of skate? Can I kind of just kick back? I'm retired. Can I not do this kind of deep work anymore? If I did all this deep forgiveness work, who would it really benefit? And I realized that the answer was my life, for what time I have left, my consciousness in that time that I have left, it matters. My consciousness matters. Only in rereading this did I think about the Black Lives Matter movement. We could have our own movement. My consciousness matters. In every moment, it matters to the community of human beings, the community of plants, trees, animals, including all of the bugs and the fungi underneath the ground. It matters to all of that. It matters to the awakening on this planet that I believe is yet to be. It's in process, but it is still growing and unfolding. In Unity, we believe that we all participate in a collective consciousness. I'm sure you've all used those words. I can remember the moment that I heard those words in one of my first Unity services. And I walked out, it was a spring day in Vancouver, Washington, and I can remember the crocus blooming through the snow. And in that moment, I not only saw that universal consciousness, that collective, but I felt it. I felt the energy of it in every part of my being. And I'm sure that experience is why I kept coming back and came back and came back to Unity to learn more about what it was that I felt, what it was that I experienced that day. We can also call that collective consciousness the one mind, one heart. Those are familiar words that we use in Unity and a favorite of mine. But about maybe 10 years ago, I found another term that I really like. It may seem a little heady, but I call it the quantum field of all possibility. And there's a number of authors who have used that I didn't make that up on my own. I couldn't tell you who they are right at this moment, but it really went deep in me. The quantum field, if you've read anything, even sort of cursory quantum physics, how all things interact and come from the one. And I would say, to paraphrase the Bible, we could also say we live and breathe and have our being in that field of great potential. Whatever releasing of old stuff, whatever work that we might still be doing, old thoughts, old fears, we can do it in such a way that we are paying it forward into lives that come after ours, paying it forward into that great collective consciousness. I really believe that our work, whatever that might be, whether it's a small forgiveness or a huge project of letting go, of self-transformation, it feeds the field of all potential. On this Mothering Day, this Nurturing Day, and I hope every day for us, I hope you will join me in paying attention to what you are contributing to the emotional well-being of others and to our planet. May we listen more to each other. It's a hard thing to do in our political climate right now, but really listen when we differ or have differences with others. And look every day, in every moment, there's always something that we can affirm someone for. We can notice them. We can do something that might help them see their own potential and maybe accomplish their own dreams. If an octopus can extend a giving arm to a land-going being, and a giant tree can give its life for the well-being of the whole forest, I can continue till my final breath to nurture my own spirit, to heal my own selfishness, and to contribute all that I can to that quantum field of all possibility. Thank you.
Please join us in our centering song. It's called Let Me Remember, and it's in your bulletins. Into his presence would I enter now, for I am surrounded by the love of God. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let every voice but God's be still in me. Let me remember I am one with God. Peace to my brother who is one with me. Let me remember what my purpose is. Let all the world be blessed with peace through me. There is one life that I share with Him. I am sustained by the love of God. And all that I give is given to myself. I thank my Father for His gifts to me. Let me remember I am one with God. Peace to my sister who is one with me. Let me remember what my purpose is. Let all the world be blessed with peace through me. Let all the world be blessed with peace through me.
Once again, I ask you just to take a deep breath. Move around in your chair. till you feel comfortable. And as you breathe deeply, bring your awareness from outside of yourself to inside of your own being by just focusing on that breath. Feel its movement in and out. Notice any sensations in your body. Perhaps scanning up from your feet to the top of your head. Notice any thoughts that pull your attention away from your inner being. Take another deep breath. Feel it in your body. And listen to these words coming from the spirit of love and nurturing and mothering. Hear what they have to say to you, yes, you, in this moment. Be at peace this day, my child, for you were created in love, and this is who you are. Be at peace this day, my child, for you are forever safe, protected, and nurtured at all times in my strength. Be at peace this day, my child. Relax into the silence, letting any unhealed fears return to the nothingness from whence they came. And as you embrace this quietness, this breath, notice once again how you're feeling physically, the sensations in your body. And then how are you feeling emotionally in this moment? And ever so slowly, when you are ready, feel yourself again fully in the chair, fully in this room, and open your eyes.
When I my mama's eyes, looking for the good through the mess. She's always smiling, always doing, always taking care of those she loves. And when she's done or had enough, she goes on walking with strength from above. She taught us well, choose love, do your best, tell the truth, say thank you even when times are tough. And when the day is through, say amen. And go on smiling, go on doing, go on taking care of those you love. And when you're done, you've had enough, go on walking with strength from above. Your kind words will heal the broken. Your respect makes way for peace. When you are lost, listen in silence to hear the song from above, guiding you on your way. She's always talking about her mama and the grace she had to face the rough. And then I see my grandma in my mama's eyes, looking for the good through the mess. Always smiling, always doing, always taking care of those she loves. And when she's done, had enough, she goes on walking with strength from above. She goes on walking with strength from above.
Wow, you guys are certainly blessed with this music team. I'm loving it. Let's give them another little So it looks it's time for our offering. And it looks like we just say the affirmation, and then you know what to do with it after that, right?
Practice.
All right, together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. And all is well, or swell, depending on if you're a teenager or not.
and let it begin in you. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. For wherever we are, God is.